Is there anybody else? All right. Okay. All right. Moving ahead. Town manager report.
Good evening. Just the first item that I've listed so that the public can follow along involves our Board of Assessment Appeals. They began the hearings today downstairs in the Enfield room. They will continue through this week and as needed. What we're seeing, though, is that due to the volume and the time constraints, that they are asking the town to file on their behalf an extension so that they can continue to deliberate on those appeals that are made through the month of May. So that anyone who is following assessment appeals or has an appeal that is coming before them, they can understand the process. We will be filing that letter with the Office of Policy and Management, which will allow them to continue their work through May. And there's no action needed, but I think it's just important for the town council to know when items like that happen. Moving on, the second item that I'd like to cover tonight is an update on the ARPA funding. We did front load funding on item G that you're going to see later in your agenda, and that is to use the design services for the Town Farm Road multi-use path, which has been in the works for almost 2 years. This is going to be funded by a state grant, a LOTSIP grant, but we are responsible for the soft costs for design. So that's $80,000 that we're asking the town council to consider later on in the agenda, which will allow that project to flow and really kind of get started without waiting through the budget process. Overall, we've been spending a lot of time constructing the budget, which you will hear about on Wednesday night. There are a lot of moving points, and some of them were alluded to by Superintendent Drazik. We've been having many conversations across the town and education sides because we know that it's important for Enfield and for both sides of the government house in order to work together and leverage all of those dollars. So even as late as today, as we were having conversations about how to present the data to you, we had another late-breaking announcement that additional funds are coming through from Congressman Courtney informed us of a resiliency bill that is going to target specifically school construction issues, repairs, air filtration, boiler repairs, several of which are on our agenda to accomplish for various schools. So at this point, we're constantly, almost like a financial shell game, trying to figure out how to stretch all of those dollars. Which ones can be ARPA? Which ones can be from fund balance? Which ones can be used for some of their ESSER and COVID funds on the school side? What of our ARPA funds? So I'm not sure that we're going to have a complete picture for Wednesday night, but we're going to do the best that we can to give you a slate of options as to the path forward as you move toward your budget discussions and deliberations amongst yourselves. I also think it's important to note that we have to have community input. And that's one of the provisions of the ARPA federal guidelines. So as of tomorrow, we will be, actually, I think it's live now, but on our website, if you go to the Town of Enfield website, there is an ARPA tab now, and you will be able to click there and go directly to a community survey where you will be asked some of your preference questions. There are a lot of items on there that some have been suggested by you, some of your department colleagues here in the building, and from members of the public. So if you see something that you think is very specific, it may have been from a resident. So we put anything on that we received onto the survey. We are going to have that out too for several weeks. Hard copies will also be available at the library and the senior center. You could also call the town manager's office and we can furnish hard copies. We've also asked the faith community to participate, and many of them are including it in their bulletins, the link this coming Sunday and beyond, so that we can reach as many people as possible in the community so that they can have a say in how they see some of these transformational and generational funds being spent throughout the next 3 years. So more to come on that on Wednesday night, but again, we're open to any ideas and concerns as to how to make those dollars maximize impact here in Enfield.
Great. Thank you.